Hello everyone, our game is called Bedrock, and in Bedrock you are a dwarven clan set out to explore a cave system by mining everything and fighting goblins. You win the game by gathering something called renown, sort of victory points. As you can see here, reward is 3 renown. The total renown you've collected at the end of the game, hopefully you have the highest amount and you win the game. You sort of trigger the end of the game by meeting the requirements of these really specific quests, like defeat or bribe the dragon, build 3 level 2 mines, or a player completes 6 city quests. And that sort of happens as you progress through the game. At some point you are bound to hit those. So what a turn sort of looks like is I have these little workers here, and I can place my workers on my very own sort of cave structure. I excavated this by flipping these hidden tiles, and I come across stuff like this one. Properly handled, these mushrooms could be used to make a thick brew, build a brewery here. So what I could do during my turn is pick up one of my workers and place him over here. So he will start working on a brewery. There are some goblins over here, and I don't really want to fight them right now because that's kind of dangerous. They're quite strong with a +3. So instead, I will look elsewhere. Now, looking at my sort of warehouse, I have quite some resources. I have some beer, I have some gold, and quite a few gems. So what I probably want to do is hand those in at the warehouse and maybe buy some new stuff. What else can I do? Let's see. Here's a hovel, a dwarven house where I can, well, basically create new dwarfs, but I need quite a few dwarfs for it and some beer to generate a new one. And I'm sort of running low on beer right now. So instead, I'm gonna get one of my dwarfs and place it here in a mine I recently excavated. And I built a mine on top. So that dwarf, as you can see, maybe in the lower left corner, I need 1 dwarf to generate 1 gem. And gems are the blue tokens we have. Let's see. I have 1 worker left. Maybe I could place him over here. There's a rail system in the game, and as you can see, this rail is connected to this tile, so I am able to travel along it and place my worker here. So that is the first part of the turn. I have no more workers. Normally the other players are then placing their characters as well, their workers. But let's now go to phase 2. And you always have to start phase 2 with the warehouse, if you place a worker here. The warehouse is, I guess, the most complicated of the turns. So I'm going to put this one back here, and I'm going to enact the warehouse turn. So, first off, I have a few quests in my dwarven clan hold, and one of them says here, please donate 2 gems for 1 renown. So I'm basically going to claim that one. I'm going to be like, hey, I can donate 2 gems because I have more than enough gems over here. I'm going to get 2 of those, place them back in the game box, and I now have 1 renown claimed. So that is 1 step toward the end victory condition. Cool. So that is step 1. Now we get to go to a whole new section of the game. This is the shop. In the shop you can get new quests. You can select up to 1 quest, or you can buy new buildings. Without going into details on what choices there are, let's see. I want to do this one. I want to get some tools to the people. So I'm going to place it over here in my dwarven hold. And let's see, this is a barracks. I'm going to buy this barracks. It cost me 4. All buildings always cost 4. So that is 2 gold. Plus a gem, which is worth 2 gold, so that's 4 in total. Placing that over here. And the barracks gives me a passive +1 to fights. And I can build weapons there if I want to. But yeah, I bought this, which hopefully gives me a better chance of beating those goblins in the future. But now I gotta place it somewhere. And what I can do is, if I have room for it, I can of course place it along the tracks, but now I'm just going to remove this and instead place the barracks over here. So that gives me a +1 to a fight in the future. That was the warehouse action. Let's go over here. This is the mine. I had one guy on here, so I'm placing him back. And the mine says generate 1 gem. I'm gonna get a gem, place it in my storage. And I'm gonna check over here. Build a brewery here. That is a free action because a brewery is a basic building. So I can remove this from the game. And I'm going to check on the basic buildings, and there's a brewery here. As you might have expected, a brewery gives me the action in the future of placing a dwarf here, which generates more beer, which I need, of course, to basically build more dwarves, because I need 2 beer for a dwarf. Lastly, we have a dwarf over here. He was exploring by following the line. So I'm gonna remove him, place him back in my storage, check on what's on the other side of this card. And it says here, you notice a mug of fine brew has been placed on a ledge as you step through the tunnel. No idea who left it here, but you might as well take it. It says here, +1 beer for free. And I sort of screwed this up a bit, but so I'm gonna take this green token. So now I have 2 beer. So I could potentially, in a future turn, build more dwarves. Cool. So we have explored this, which leads us to be able to basically create new paths or new buildings there in the future, as long as the rails connect. And yeah. So then the turn starts again. You sort of check like, hey, have I maybe met one of the win conditions? Not right now. I have completed 1 city quest, which was the donate 2 gems from before, but the rest not so much. So the turn would then start again. You would place your workers again. Another person would of course get a first player token, and you check what all your workers are doing. In phase 2, they collect on every action you do, such as generating gems, generating weapons, creating babies, generating beer, or maybe fighting goblins. So yeah, that's Bedrock.